I think the most important thing I want to bring up here is the idea of how woke is too woke. The world is going woke. I think we see that, right? A lot of people are doing it. They're going there. And there's some good things to it. I think some people would agree that kind of being more aware of things is a nice thing. But how far to Michael, you already saying no. So
No.
you're saying there's no good thing to woke at all? None?
None whatsoever.
None. Okay. Tell me why.
Well, we have to think of what is woke. First of all,
Okay.
You can never be woke enough. And the reason why is because it is a system of control. It is meant to suppress people's voices and to make them obey without thought or without influence. And when we understand it as that's what it is, because it encapsulates identity politics and gender identity politics, the CRT. It goes back to 1996. I mean, this thing has been happening for a long time. It is a system of limiting thought, which is limiting speech.
We didn't really have, right? When I was a kid, there wasn't a such thing as, for example, trans. That wasn't a thing. I mean, I'm sure they existed, but I'm just saying in my head, it wasn't a thing, right? And gay people when I was a kid was only gay men, right? That's how I thought. There were no lesbians. It wasn't a thing when I was a kid, right? Obviously they existed, but I'm saying in my social world, they didn't. Am I wrong on this? Julia, give me something. Am I wrong on this?
As your resident lesbian, I would like to add something here.
Please.
Well, you're not too far off by saying it's something you didn't see. Most of us didn't see it growing up because it wasn't really a thing. How woke is too woke? We hit too woke like at least 5 to 10 years ago. I think about 5 years ago. 2015 is like, woo. In the United States at age 12, 13, you're giving double mastectomies to children. You're putting them on hormones really young. They're going to come out of it and be like, don't get me started. Cause I want Michael to go. Michael's chomping at the bit. Go ahead, Michael.
You're dead on, JD, because it's so true that this is about a conditioning of minds. And notice everything we can point at in the woke system from 1996 to today, from Moesha to where we're seeing today with Velma, every single aspect isn't targeting anyone here and most of the people watching this today. It's targeting your children.
Yep.
It is trying to teach them to obey, to conform, to fit into the boxes, the categories someone else has created and someone else has prioritized for their political gain. That's at the end of the day, that's all woke is. It is a prioritization for someone, a political elite, to maintain power and to take away any question or objection or problem. And we see that. That's why you see M&Ms. That's why you see Coca-Cola saying, oh, you've got to do a white privilege training. Why in the hell do you need to do that? Why do you need to apologize for the color of your skin? Why do you have to apologize for your sexuality? They're trying to we see on TikTok all the time. There's been a couple of videos about people putting out TikToks, they're trans, and they're like, no one wants to date me. You have to date me or you're a transphobe. Wait a minute. Why do I have to date you? I don't have to. JD, you don't have to date someone who's trans and you're a lesbian. I'm a straight man. I don't have to do it. No one has to be forced to go and live or love someone that they don't want to. That's the
Agreed.
Point. And yet we're teaching kids today and we're pushing it out in all the media.
What if I don't like tall girls? What if I don't like skinny girls? Which I don't like. Sorry, guys, girls, if you're out there skinny, you're not my type. I like girls who are a little thick. That's my thing. I like women who are a little thick. I do. So now am I a skinny phobe? Is that me now?
According to woke, yes, you are.
I guess I am. I'm a skinny.
Well, it's also rooted in homophobia, and they first started attacking lesbians before anybody else because we were maybe seen as the weakest link. They first started attacking us for not considering men who identify as trans into our dating pool. That is the epitome of homophobia. As soon as you start to tell me that I should go against my innate same-sex attraction.
Back in the 70s, your job title was office girl. That was literally your job. Michael knows. That was literally your job title. That was on your resume, office girl. When he came up, that was the title. So I'm not saying what he said was correct. I'm not. I'm saying understand where his head was, and he needs to change his habits. He has bad habits that he should change, because those words now in the 60s and 70s, who cared? Today, well, this is 10 years ago, 10 years ago, now that matters. You have to change your language. And her saying that made him realize it, and he began to realize. He said, I'm sorry, I didn't realize, it's not what I meant. But in today's world, what would have happened is he'd turn around and she'd have said, you're a horrible misogynist, you bigot, how could you say those words? And when she says that, what he would have done is become immediately defensive, immediately learn nothing, be mad at her, and because he was the boss, a year from now, she's fired.
Yeah.
That's what would have happened. No doubt, because people don't want to understand. But what happened, all of a sudden, he would have had one of his managers give her a bad review. A year later, she's gone. That's how it actually works in reality, right? Like if you make a new Star Trek, and it's a new Star Trek, right? I know the old Star Trek from the 60s and 70s, right? So if you make a new Star Trek and you change the race of people, I don't mind, right? For those who don't know the Star Trek saga, right? As Star Trek went into the next generations, in the third iteration, there was a black captain, Captain Ben Sisko. I loved him. DS9. He was a new character. They didn't change Captain Kirk and make him Jerome Kirk, a black guy. They didn't do that. Captain Kirk is still white, as he should be. He's always been white. And Captain Sisko is black, as he should be. And Captain Janeway's a woman, as she should be, because they're new people with new stories. But when they go back and change, maybe I'm the wrong guy, but it bothers me. I'm like, I feel like you're telling me that I was wrong for liking my old stuff.
Yes.
And man, that pisses me off. Just give me new stuff.
They're saying that because, again, not only are they telling you you are wrong and you had wrong think, they're now telling the young kids, this is the only way to do this. And the whole point of why they're doing that is because when Star Trek Discovery does exist, no one watches it. No one cares. It's horrible. It's horrible writing, horrible characters. It is just propaganda. It's pushing this message.
Discovery,
and that's why they have to go
woke. But let me tell you, DS9 wasn't woke. They just made a cool black character.
Well, that's just because they had good writing. The difference is good writing doesn't mean.
Remember his friend. His friend was basically trans. Yeah. Remember, it was a male. It was a male like symbiont in like a female body or something. And nobody cared. It was a cool character. We didn't care.
Curzon. The character was Curzon.
Cared. I'm sorry. We're geeking out, you guys. I apologize. We're geeking out, you guys. I apologize.
Well, no,
I'm sorry. Just got me all going.
That's what's always fun for me to hear any woke debates or conversations happen about sci-fi and things like that. It's like, what you're telling me it's unbelievable to have a black captain? They're in space right now. There are more unbelievable things happening in your precious show, sir. I mean, again, it can go both ways too. I remember the uproar when the first time we had a black stormtrooper in the Star Wars reboots. I mean, there are some people on the internet losing their minds about that. I agree with you, Larry. It should just be about the story. It should be about the fun. It should be about disconnecting. It is entertainment. And as long as, to Michael's point, as long as the show doesn't completely suck, you still need to have those core principles of good entertainment and good television, kind of like All in the Family had. That's really what helps these types of things appeal to a broader base of people in the first place.
I agree, and I didn't care because it was a new character.
Right. It's also sci-fi.
Oh,
it's
now Han Solo's black. They didn't do that. They went, we have a new character, and he's black. Okay.
That's right. Of course, there was a time when Han Solo was frozen, and that he no longer identifies as frozen, which I appreciate.
That's true, and he was brown then. Let me grab a couple more of these comments if I could.
Before you go for that,
no, go ahead, Michael. Go.
I just want to say to Adam Cahoon, yes, I know the reference. Van Helsing, Alucard. You're dead on. I love it. It's esoteric to everyone who doesn't follow anime, so you guys won't know. I do. I caught the quote. I know exactly what he's saying. It's funny.
Okay, I love that. That's good. So let me see if I can grab a couple more comments. Maybe see if I can find that comment if I can. So Patty says, Michael Vasquez, love your pronoun. Mine is mother goddess and accepted by my family and friends in all communities. There we go. I like that. Very good. Very
love
good.
yours too, Patty.
Dave says, Julie, Larry is right. People who know better are afraid of being canceled. But I do think that's changing. I remember, and I'll use race in this one. I remember when being called a racist was the worst thing you could ever be called. Like nobody wanted to be called a racist. Like that, call me a pedophile before you call me racist. It was that bad. You never want to be called a racist. Now, racist is like, okay, that's the third time this week. Like now nobody seems to care. Like people get called racist left and right now. So I feel like we've gone to a point where people just go to hell with you, I find I'm a racist. While that's a bad thing to feel, makes people more jerks, but I think it does make them less cancelable. If that makes any sense. It's defense against being canceled when you embrace the negativity. If that makes any sense. Am I wrong on this?
Well, you're negating the meaning of the word. You're taking all of the power and meaning out of it in the worst way possible. Because that's ownership. It's just, I'm so fed up. I'm so resistant to hear your words or the meaning you're putting to this, that it's now become it's non-word. It has no meaning to it. And that's the worst thing you can have. The answer to cancel culture isn't just ignore. Well, it isn't that you're reacting against it like being a jerk. It's that you don't let it phase you. You just keep going. You just keep moving forward.
But the other point you brought up, Mike, which drives me crazy, is there are racists in the world. There are real racists in the world. But if you call everybody a racist, then you've just hidden the actual racist. You know, when it comes to gender, when it comes to sexuality, in Oklahoma, they still burn gay people, literally burn them. There are people who are really homophobic and want to kill gay people. But when you call some guy who goes, hey, I'm not sure, do you like guys or girls? Oh, that's homophobic. That's not homophobia. That's some guy saying some inappropriate stuff, which is maybe he shouldn't say, but that's not homophobic. Burning people. That's what I'm worried about. There's real racists who hunt down people and kill them.
But I think we have to say, you can be racist and be Black, Asian, Hispanic, white, 100%. Or whatever race is out there. You can be sexist if you're male, female, you identify as a toaster or anything else. You can be any negative. Human beings can be anything.
100%. Agreed.
And that's positive or negative because that's who you are, because we're individuals, not categories. And you are going to be whatever you are. And the only way to help someone be more positive isn't to pile a bunch of negatives on them. It's maybe by example, maybe by conversation and interaction.
Conversation.
You know,
I met a guy going off to war. He was a kid. I talked to him. And then he said, he said he was homophobic or whatever. He made it pretty clear. And I said, would it surprise you to find out that I'm a lesbian? I changed his whole world view. I gave him my phone number. We became friends. He hung out with me and my wife. Long story short, he writes me from overseas and says, you changed my whole life. Because of you, I'm a better person. And I just want to say thank you. And that is what Michael's getting at when he's talking about interaction. Did I shut him down and go, you're a homophobe, and cry and then tweet about it? No. I gave him my phone number. I hung out with him. We went to WeHo together. He was not a bad guy. He was just raised with certain thoughts and hadn't met anybody. He even told me, I hadn't met anybody gay. You're pretty cool, actually.
You know what? You know what I think?
I like it.
Maybe everyone else, we've all had different interactions. In whether it's race or gender, sexuality, I think there's all kinds of biases out there. But I think everyone has, I'd like to believe, everyone who's ever confronted someone who has a bias against you for whatever reason, whatever it may be, your religion, your race, where you came from, your ancestry, whatever it is, that those people tend to have never experienced what you are or anything about you. They have this floating stereotype that maybe they saw on Twitter or TikTok, and they have no concept of what that is. 9 out of 10 times, unless like in the case of say like color or skin, they'll never know that you are even that thing that they think is evil. And then once they get confronted with it, once they get in front of you with it, and I had this happen to me in the Marines with a guy who's never seen Black people before until he got into the
same thing. Yep.
And we had a huge confrontation, but guess what? Fox turned out to be one of my better friends while I was in the Corps, because we sat down, had a conversation of sorts, a little physical, but a conversation.
Yes.
And
we used to have smokers back then. You could go, people don't know this. You had smokers back in the Marine Corps. And what happens now is now the system is about culture war issues and not changing anything. And this goes to Davos. Remember the Davos, all the big people, the WEF, they're all over there. They're going to fix everything. They used to be talking about climate change. Now they're talking about equity now.
Good ideas keep getting ruined over and over again.
Yes.
It's a pattern.
Yes. And because people take the woke part and not the meat part. Like America didn't get better. We just got woker. I'd like to get better.
But Larry, it's not about actually making a change. It's about control. The reason why Davos has switched from climate change, which I could, and I have written tons on that. We can have that conversation, but they moved from climate change to equity because it's shutting people up and it makes them obey. Oh, you can't complain about my company anymore because we believe in equity. We're woke. Oh, well, we can't complain about that one. We won. Yay. The company didn't change. They're selling the same product in the same way to the same people with the same abuses in the system. Nothing has changed except they just said, they put out a commercial and said, we got equity. Don't you love us? Yeah, of course we love you. Give us, here, take more of our money. Let's shovel it to you even faster, Apple.
Exactly.
I mean, come on.
Adam says, give Mickey Mouse rainbow trousers.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're still Disney, right? You're still Disney, right?
Yeah,